And we do have a special presentation tonight from the Las Flores Community Garden. And I think we have the president, Susan Sundell, going to give a presentation. And she's brought her whole staff with her, right?
Hi. Oh my
Thank you.
goodness. Thank you so much for having me again. I promised Tom that I would only be 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
If
right.
anybody knows me, they know that my favorite topic in the whole wide world is Las Flores Community Garden. I'll try to be good, Tom. Okay, so 2020, this is my report for 2020. I could have done this in 5 seconds. 2020 was the pits for all of us, for all of us. So and 2020 was supposed to be our 20th anniversary. And so I decided that as a retired educator, I want to send you on a little history trip of Las Flores Community Garden. And most of this is how you directly affect us and how wonderful the partnership is between CRPD and Las Flores Community Garden. All right? So what am I doing here? Up, down? To the right. Isn't it amazing? Look at that. 20 years ago, nothing, land. And then in 2000, this is 1998, by the way, when our founders, Don Jacobs, Fady McCune, and Jana Orkney attended meetings, met with residents, met with you all to try and get a little bit of land. And we got a half an acre. And you can see on the right just how little our garden was. We had 35 plots, 35. Today we have 165. And I'm even having a tough time even really orienting where the gate is here because everything has changed so much. Don Jacobs was our founder. He was our man. He was the one with the vision. And he was the one I talked to 10, 15 years ago when I joined the garden about the vision. It was really important for me to, as president at that time, I'll go back. I have with me tonight my vice president, Diana Lovejoy, and past president, Jimmy Winston. Jimmy was the president for the last 3 years. I was the president for 6 years before Jimmy. And so we're just kind of trading off here. And he's like, no, we're not. Not anymore. But thank you for coming and showing support for me. So Jacobs Pavilion. The groundwork started when I became a member in 2008 or 7, something like that, 5. And as you can see, we were just on dirt. This was our meeting area. And we had straw bales there, and you can see Mark Gann leveled out our area there. And after this, I learned that we had a retired mason in our garden. Oh boy, the fun began. I presented them and a wonderful project management team to undertake it. And as you can see on the right, it is amazingly beautiful. And we seat about 75 inside. And of course you can stand around, and we have our meetings, and we're going to, hopefully now that we can do some things, we'll have potlucks and just little gatherings to make us feel human again. So Jacobs Pavilion, it was named after Don Jacobs. His work in getting this community garden going is outstanding. And he is still alive. I'm not kidding you. The guy's like 180 years old, but he's wonderful, not living here. And of course, this is what I had a tough time really getting the perspective of the garden at such a young age of 1 year old. And in 2018, we decided with the same retired mason that we would redo our front entrance. And it really does open to a magical, magical place. Our community garden, herb garden, and now that may not sound like much to you, but our gardeners love it. They're there, and maybe that great big, plant, they don't have room for in their garden, and so we provide a community herb garden for them. It was started in 2009, and in 2020, you can see just how amazingly lush and beautiful it is. By the way, everything you see here is a product or the result of capital improvement grants, which we are so thankful and appreciative of. Children's gardening. This was the last time that I spoke here. And you can see it was just land. There's nothing there. And now it's lush. It has 29 plots in there that's leased out to families, and it just keeps growing better and better each year. I have to continue with the habitat, which is my favorite thing because it's my passion. Trying to save the monarch butterflies I'm all there. And so you can see the habitat started when we got the land for the children's garden, and it was nothing. Nothing was planted there, and I'm going to get to the next slide, and I'm so excited about it. And now we have lushness of California natives, which is best for our pollinators. We do have a few non-natives mixed in just because we like them, but you can see it is incredibly beautiful. 13 children built our butterfly habitat. 13. I taught a class, a CRPD class for 13 children, 7 to 9 years old. You can see how little they are compared to the wheelbarrow. And not once did they ask for a ride in that wheelbarrow. I kind of wondered, what is wrong with these kids? But I had a wonderful team of helpers, and they did it all. They put in mulch, they planted, they dug up. They were such hard workers for such little bitty things. And then of course we had lessons, classes, and crafts every Saturday. This was for 6 weeks. And they built the habitat. It's amazing. And I want to offer some more classes, maybe with the habitat or maybe with something else. We'll talk about that later. The habitat was certified in 2019 by 3 national organizations. And this is not an easy feat. You have to provide a long list of nectar and larval food for the monarch butterfly and anything else. Now, I will have to say, since we're certified by the National Wildlife Association, we're definitely attracting wildlife. Some we don't really want, like the ground squirrels and the rabbits, but we're fine. We're a wildlife habitat, and it is gorgeous. Our orchard, 34 fruit trees. You can see 4 years ago, little bitty little things. And now look how beautiful they're doing. This is a 4-year growth. This is nothing. Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful. And our members adopt trees, take care of them. They're responsible for the actual tree, pruning, fertilizing, mulching, and that person takes on that tree. And so we have 32 members. Well, actually a couple of them have 2 trees. But it is just as beautiful as what we envisioned. Our newest additions were the easy access U-boxes in 2017, And those are wheelchair accessible, and all but one is leased out. And it's wonderful that they have it is a small space. This is not our normal 10 by 20 spaces, but they put a lot in this little area. And it's 2 feet tall, so there's no bending over. It's perfect for people with back problems or whatever. And they have just really, we're extending the walkway path this year out to the gate. It's just so gorgeous. Okay, this year, 2020, and actually it was finished in 2021 because we couldn't get the kit. The kit came from Oregon. Because of COVID, they couldn't ship. And so we actually ended up finishing this in January of this year. And we have a state-of-the-art reverse osmosis water system in it. Nobody in this county has that. And I also found that we have a member of our garden who installs water, reverse osmosis water systems at breweries. Okay, can I talk to you for a minute? That's what I do. All right. We are a community of gardeners. And I think you recognize the dude on the left there. We have this amazing trellis in somebody's plot, and it's covered with these beautiful roses, and the scent is just, you can't walk by without just loving every minute of it. And so it's a photo op for many people. Ed actually said they might use this on their Christmas card, so I don't know. Also, we share our resources. We've had a booth or 2 or 5 at every Earth Day, Arbor Earth Day event. And we absolutely, this is my job, marketing. My job for Las Flores Community Garden is to market it. And I don't have any problems doing that because I love it so much. And I think everybody should be there. It is many times called Thousand Oaks Hidden Little Gem. People will walk by, especially during COVID. They will go, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was here. Yeah, we know. We have 125 people on our waiting list. And if we go through at the rate that we have turnover, those people at the bottom of the list will be coming in about 10 years. So I'm not going to ask for more land tonight. You're fine. I'm not, but I might ask for something else. I want you to visit me, our board. Come by, grab a sandwich. It is absolutely the most serene, wonderful place that you can have lunch. I also would like to tour anybody, all of the board. Please come. If you come mid to end of July, you just might take home some wonderful tomatoes. If the ground squirrels and the rats and everything else hasn't gotten to them first. But please come visit me. I do have a proposal. And like I said, it is not land. So don't have a heart attack, Chuck. Thank you. I would like to offer that CRPD host or have Arbor Earth Day at Waverly Park with our co-sponsoring. I would love nothing. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? That a community garden would help host a Arbor Earth Day event. I know there's a lot to work out, and it doesn't have to be next year, but please consider it in the future. We can offer so many things, including demonstrations, classes, workshops, giveaways, tours, crafts, things for children. We can offer to help you out so much. So please think about it. And now, do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. We'll start over here, Director Lang.
Yes, as always, great information. And
Thank
it's
you.
And it's so special to have people like you and the rest of your board and members that support this to the degree that they do, and it continues to grow and offer so much for people in that, you call them squares, for handicap,
Yes, the easy access.
easy access.
Yeah, yeah.
And are there groups for the disabled that this gets marketed to?
Yes, actually, we already have 3 schools in our garden as members, and 3 of the easy access plots are used by one of the schools, and they have a big plot. And then they have 3 of the small boxes because they have disabled young adults that use wheelchairs, and it's just phenomenal what you observe as far as the interaction and just the tiniest little things like, oh, there's a bug. And so the teachers are right on it, and they are so good to teach while they're there. They are teaching gardens, and it's just, yeah.
And you used to have like an annual meeting or something
We
there?
we
Um,
did.
And under the pavilion there and so forth. Do you plan to have any of those meetings again to
I
invite the board
absolutely
to?
want it. I absolutely will have one. I miss you, George.
Oh, thank you.
George showed up every time.
I did.
You did, and you're
Yeah.
so supportive, and all of you. Anything else that you want to talk about? Yes.
I was going to ask my last question,
Okay.
Doug. The orchard, what are the variety of trees that you have in that orchard?
Oh, gosh, name it, we have it. We have some really cool crosses. We have, pluot is part plum, part apricot, and that is adopted by Diana. And this is, oh my gosh, I didn't know this thing even existed. And I think we have 5 avocados, maybe 6. We have tangerines, mandarins, 3 different kinds of lemon, banana. Wow.
An apple tree that produces 4 kinds of apples.
An apple tree that produces 4 because
Grass.
we grafted.
Okay,
And so, yeah, see.
that's great.
Fig trees, 3 different kinds of fig trees. One was given to me, it's called an Ethiopian fig tree by Athens Services, who provides our free compost. Blackberries. Oh, it's the only place where we can have the runner berries. They're not allowed in personal pots. You can have strawberries and blueberries in your personal pots, but the rest are pretty invasive. And so we don't allow them.
Well, thank you again.
You are
Good
so
presentation.
welcome.
Director Cussworth, you have a question or comment?
A comment and question. Your enthusiasm is very contagious.
Thank you.
I can tell how much.
I've heard that before. It's gotten me in trouble just a couple times.
Well, I know one time I was at Waverly Park, and I guess I must have parked my car in the parking lot there, or I was at the dog park. I don't remember, but I happened upon your garden, and I didn't really know about it. And this was a few years ago, and I wandered all through. I was highly impressed. It was very, very lovely.
Thank you.
So I congratulate you, and I congratulate your presentation. That was very nicely done.
Thank you. We really are very, but it was so important for me when Tom sent the email saying, June 2020 annual report. It was so important for me, for you to understand how much we appreciate you, because everything you see, we'd still have bare land if it wasn't for you. And yes, our gardeners who do work really, really hard giving, that's this year. That's this year. This year's capital improvement grant will bring a permanent, well, I don't use the word permanent because nothing is permanent, giving garden to, that we have set a, oh, sorry. We have set aside a plot just for donation to our neighbors in need. Whether it's Manna or another food bank or a church that's preparing meals, 100% will go for donation. We're very excited about that one. Anybody else?
So I have a question. You have schools that are participating in your garden. Have you ever thought of doing an outreach? And if any of your members wanted to actually go out to schools and have the schools have garden plots? I know in my classroom, I'm a teacher, I have 2 little garden plots that we plant every year. And it's just amazing for the children. It's amazing to me what they will eat if they have grown it.
And isn't it amazing that they don't know where food comes from?
My children are in 1st grade, and this year we
Aw.
only did tomatoes and flowers because they didn't come back to school until end of March.
Right.
And our tomatoes weren't ripe, but they were green, and they just run out there every day trying to find them and talk about which
Aw.
flower they planted. But
Oh,
sometimes schools need a little bit of help, and I don't know if it's something that your members could do, or if you adopted a school.
absolutely. I think that, oh my gosh, adopting a school, that's yeah, I love that.
It would probably just.
That gets
mean-
my brain going right away,
Yeah.
by the way.
I'm just saying it would probably only mean going over and helping a classroom get started.
Yes,
And then maybe going over every few months to see if they needed help, but.
I am-
PTA donated garden plots to our school, and so a lot of
Right.
the teachers have taken advantage of that so that the kids are getting a lot of gardening in. So you might think of an outreach to our schools.
absolutely, I will. And kidsgardening.org, which is a children's gardening large national organization, they actually provide grants for exactly that. And I think that our community garden, I know I have people, retired educators or not even retired, that would love a project like that.
Yeah, sometimes teachers just need a little nudge or a
They
little
do.
help, and they will willingly accept. So
They do.
I'm just putting it out there.
I
It would be
love the
great.
idea. I love it. Thank you so much.
Director Holt, any questions or comments?
Well, that was a great presentation. I appreciate it. And I haven't been there in a long time.
You need to come and visit me.
I know, I do, you know.
I think the last time I saw you, I had an ice cream social.
Oh, I don't remember.
I know,
mean,
right?
I've been there more than once, but I think it's been a real long time.
Yeah.
So
Oh, please,
I'll be stopping by.
email me. I would love to just
No,
meet you
that was
there.
an excellent presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Holt.
Director Huffer?
As Director Lang said, your enthusiasm for this is so totally infectious. I too haven't been there in several years. It may have been the ice cream social that you mentioned, but
Yeah.
love to get back there to see the changes that you showed us here. And I so admire people who are enthusiastic about gardening and love gardening. Personally, I can kill artificial plants, so I don't.
I used to
near
be
the
that
garden,
way.
but I have a grown son who just loves gardening of all sorts, but you showed the greenhouse. He and his husband moved into a new home up in the Seattle area, and the first thing they did when they bought their home was bought a greenhouse, because they both just love gardening and orchids and all
Aw.
that stuff. So next time he's down here, I'm going to definitely bring him
Please.
over to see what you have there.
Absolutely, and contact me. I'll give you the royal tour,
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
not the penny tour.
Well, thank
Anyone
you so
else?
much for the update, Susan. Appreciate it. I just was making a couple notes here as you were talking. I mentioned at our, I think it was our last board meeting about the grant program and how, yes, the Park District does offer these grants, but I think what comes back to the district as far as a community is equity to the community that we can't measure in those dollars that we say give away, we contribute,
Yes.
that, comes back multifold. And so how do we track the value of a community garden? I mean, there's so much more to it than just dollars and cents.
It is.
So appreciate the update. And I think our for their caretakers of our parks, I think they might be able to recruit some of your staff or your gardeners to say, hey, if they're looking for more to do, we've got lots of parks, they could probably use a little extra help. So, always looking around, and even the youngsters, maybe they look for a career or something like that. So we have some opportunities there. And
Thank
then
you, sir.
last time I was out there was following our dog park presentation. I wandered over there. The gate was open, so I just helped myself, did a self-tour.
Sure.
But I didn't see the ice cream tree anywhere. So
Yeah,
uh,
I took that one home when we were done with it, and it's in my backyard.
okay.
Sorry.
But thank you for the presentation
Thank
and
you.
for just providing that to the community. Again, it's just another one of the assets that we're just, happy to be a partner with, whether it's just saying, hey, here's the land, here's a few resources, and look what grows. So thank you
think-
so much for
Thank
for
you.
your updating us and for your contribution to the community.
Thank you. Anyone else, Tom? No, you don't have anything to say? What? Oh my God. I got one more. I'm not moving.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you very much.